In this podcast episode, Alex Honnold, renowned professional climber, shares deep insights into his life, mindset, career, and approach to risk and fear. He discusses his upbringing, the emotional dynamics of his family, his journey through rock climbing from childhood to global fame, the science and psychology of fear, relationship challenges, perseverance, and his broader mission beyond climbing. The conversation weaves through his personal struggles, extraordinary achievements, and philosophical views on living intentionally and embracing mortality. Alex opens up about his childhood in a middle-class suburban setting, marked by a tense family atmosphere due to his parents' fraught relationship and divorce. His father struggled with depression and passed away relatively young, leaving a deep emotional impact on Alex. His mother, a high achiever, fluent in multiple languages and talented in the arts, set high expectations that contributed to his complex feelings about performance and perfectionism. Alex contrasts his mother's perfectionist mindset with his own preference for progress over perfection, acknowledging that while he felt like a disappointment in that realm, he developed a philosophy of good enough and continuous effort as key to growth. Alex's introduction to climbing came naturally in childhood, a fun and elemental activity that aligned well with his love of being high up and solving physical problems. Despite early enjoyment, he never initially envisioned climbing as a career, given its fringe status at the time. Over years, through persistent dedication, climbing 5 days a week for decades, he evolved into a professional passionate about the sport's challenges and thrills, without the motivation being financial gain. Alex recounts a decade of living in a van during his 20s while pursuing climbing, surviving on modest finances and careful budgeting. This unconventional lifestyle offered freedom and focus despite the hardships, and surprisingly, less external pressure from his mother than one might expect. His approach to his career during this period was driven entirely by passion and progression rather than money, living simply and fully committed, despite lacking traditional markers of success or stability. His career graph reflects slow early growth, followed by breakthrough moments linked to major achievements like free soloing El Capitan and more recent high-profile climbs such as Taipei 10-1. Alex stresses the importance of persistence and loving what you do rather than rushing toward fame or wealth. This perseverance, he explains, is central to mastery in any field, fueled by continual learning and incremental success. Alex discusses fear candidly, emphasizing that climbers are scared often but learn to manage and coexist with fear rather than eliminate it. He critiques simplified interpretations of brain scans, suggesting he lacks fear response, explaining that years of exposure alter brain reactions but do not remove the amygdala's function. Fear is always present, but experience conditions the responses, enabling more rational management of risk. He compares fear mastery to exposure therapy, gradual confrontation and conditioning, rather than a sudden hack or absence of fear. The episode delves into Alex's personal relationships, revealing that he is less emotionally expressive than his wife Sunny, who provides a nuanced letter describing their dynamic. She highlights his practical love expressed through attention and action, rather than words or overt affection. Alex acknowledges challenges in emotional intimacy rooted in his upbringing, but notes ongoing, gradual progress in communication and connection. The couple balances contrasting emotional styles, complementing each other's strengths and blind spots. Alex elaborates on his methodical preparation for climbs, breaking down monumental challenges into smaller, manageable segments to build confidence and capability. He illustrates this with his detailed planning and scouting for the Taipei 101 climb. Endurance, stamina, technique, and incremental progress play crucial roles. He emphasizes intentional risk-taking, being fully aware and in control of the dangers he accepts, which contrasts with everyday risks many take unknowingly. He advocates calculated, conscious decision-making about risk as a way to live fully without reckless abandon. Alex touches on the physical demands of climbing, focusing on endurance, finger strength, and pain tolerance. He describes crack climbing and the stresses it places on fingers and toes, and demonstrates grip strength in a playful comparison, explaining that climbers maintain only the strength necessary for their endeavors rather than maximal raw power. His training balances functional capability with recovery and overall health. He shares stories of moments when fear peaked during climbs, especially on expeditions with ropes in dangerous conditions like Antarctica. Fear under such circumstances is intense, but he manages it through deep breathing, rational assessment, and visualization of outcomes, including potential falls, to gauge safety margins and emotional readiness. Accepting and preparing for the possibility of failure is central to his approach. Reflecting on his father's sudden death, Alex discusses how awareness of mortality profoundly shapes his life and decisions. He argues people live as if they will live forever, often avoiding calculated risks out of fear. However, death is inevitable, so embracing intentional risk-taking aligned with personal values leads to a fulfilling life rather than cautious stagnation. He encourages focusing on meaningful pursuits and not letting fear or societal expectations limit action. The conversation centers on perseverance as a defining trait, linking it to neuroplasticity and the concept of the anterior mid-cingulate cortex as a willpower center. Alex explains that repeated effort conditions the brain to endure discomfort and maintain discipline. He advocates starting with small, achievable goals and gradually building momentum, highlighting the compounding effect of persistence and the power of good, consistent effort over perfection. Alex recommends finding activities that one loves and that push personal boundaries in manageable ways. He stresses adaptability over rigid life plans, supporting a fluid approach to goals that embraces change and uncertainty. For young people and those feeling stuck, he encourages starting small, even with seemingly trivial tasks, to build confidence and create upward momentum. Life is seen as a process of continual exploration rather than a fixed roadmap. Family plays a central role in Alex's life. He speaks about the juggling act of being a professional athlete, father, and husband. His wife's letter reveals his deep commitment expressed through practical support and presence rather than emotional verbosity. Parenting and family responsibilities shape his priorities and training rhythms, reflecting a grounded approach despite extraordinary professional demands. Beyond climbing, Alex dedicates much effort to the Hahn Foundation, which supports community solar projects worldwide. He shares his passion for energy access and environmental preservation, highlighting the foundation's measurable impacts in improving lives and protecting ecosystems. This work represents his commitment to creating tangible, positive change beyond personal achievements, reflecting a broader purpose in his life's mission. Alex views future challenges with measured openness, focusing on incremental, little things rather than fixating on singular monumental goals. He discusses the concept of next-generation challenges and how his lifelong goal lists evolve with experience and opportunity. Flexibility and responsiveness to what life presents come through as core guiding principles, emphasizing that sometimes great achievements emerge from persistent work on many smaller objectives. Throughout the episode, Alex engages with the host in candid and humorous exchanges, sharing reflections on societal norms, cultural expectations around love and work, and the pressures to conform. Both discuss parallels in their lives around emotional expression and career paths. Alex's stories inspire reconsideration of what constitutes a normal life, emphasizing that non-traditional paths can lead to deep fulfillment and meaningful contribution. Alex responds thoughtfully to the podcast's tradition of leaving a question for the next guest, framing his ambitions around family well-being and philanthropic impact. He reflects on the humility and meaning in giving back and the importance of valuing both tangible achievements and inspirational influence. The episode ends with a focus on continuous growth, curiosity, and an expansive approach to life's challenges.